the obvious reasons of 1NE being such a mainstay, Alki being the big free rats that everyone had known just getting picked up beforehand. So Asian Manji, Team Celestial flying under the radar, but Team Celestial, this is their first time in the top 8, riding the wave from yesterday. Can they take down another team? Second regional, your first time making it to top 8. How about also making it to top 4, Team Celestial?
Let's see if they can do so. They're very capable, and like we said, we really do imagine this team to just get stronger as they get further into the season. But if they can get, oh my word, themselves a top 4, it'd be huge. First though, they gotta get by Asia Manji, and that's already proving to be a difficult task.
Add an extra K to his name, and okay, Kevin, you're kicking us off with a brilliant beauty of a shot. Not a zero angle, but we're talking 1 or 2 degrees on that. Asia Manji so far have not lived up to the hype from within the region. I'm going to put that out there, Bass. A lot of fans for this squad, and 40 Mula alongside both Kev and Dan have, you know, been making not waves over the years, but they've just been simple mainstays of the region. So them coming out, I would argue probably the win, but we were looking at that momentum from yesterday. We were looking at how this team is actually shaking up the normal, and that's what we gave for Team Celestial. If Asia Manji just comes out with a super oppressive playstyle, gets 2-3 goals above Team Celestial, well, we've seen them crumble from that.
Oh, 100%. Again, sometimes that's just kind of what a team falls into, and I think that's what Team Celestial are falling into right now. Yes, they may be comfortable to make a comeback, but at what point do they just make the comeback too difficult? 2-0 here with 3.5 minutes remaining. This is possible, but it looks like the floodgates are starting to open here, Bacon.
We also have to remember, game ones are a weird thing. We coined a new term yesterday, Bass, of course, Kaui. Crazy, absolute, I can't actually remember the full thing. I remember utterly insanity or something on the end. But nonetheless, game ones are both teams coming in, not really quite sure what's going on. One team finds the advantage and quite often holds it. Then we can even see the comeback in that game as well. But game 2, when both teams, okay, we understand how you're playing today, that's when the normal breaks out. But that just means get the handicap, get that game 1. It's still super important. It's still 1/4 of the work, you know, a quarter of the way there. And you've got that sort of imposing momentum to start things off, as we always say. 3 minutes left to go. And it's that same old story so far from game 1. Asia Manji really trying to imprint themselves into that blue half.
This is rather impressive from them for a number of reasons here. One, the fact that they just didn't really seem to have any hesitation out the gates. A lot of teams in game 1 do play a very tentative back and forth like we saw in the last series, where they don't really want to throw everything at their opponents because they don't want to reveal themselves yet. Asia Manji don't seem to care about that. They are fine if they can throw everything at their opponents here. And
oh, what a goal!
No, come on, 40. That's just wrong.
But it feels so right. That's the issue right there. One block, and Rez, he is just gobsmacked, not expecting it at all, and it's got, well, first class, first row seat to destruction. It's 3-0 right now to Asia Manji. They might be considering this game 1 done and dusted. As we always say, 2 minutes 15 on the clock is tons of time. Team Celestial, they just need quick little turnaround, get things in order, try and just bring a little bit of normality. That from Hero is a good start and a good 50-50 over the Melody, but Kev is there to just get it away.
Fantastic save in front of the net there, and honestly, this is something I think Asia Manji are going to need to start prioritizing a little bit here, is that retreat into defense and being quick enough to find the recovery, because Team Celestial, as we mentioned before, they don't really have to force an offense. They actually don't want to force an offense, it kind of seems here. They're just waiting, because eventually they can find opportunities like that, and they can start putting some solid shots on target. They aren't quite able to find one into the back of the net yet, but with 90 seconds remaining and a decent offense building here, if Team Celestial can score pretty quickly, they very much still have a shot at the comeback in game number 1.
I know that passing play didn't, you know, get a goal for Team Celestial last time, but that was a world-class passing play. Just a little bit off accuracy, but again, that's what we talk about with the building of experience within the RLCS. They're just getting a little bit more nimbler. The best way to play is just through practice, and every single game you play is also practice. You know, it's just putting more hours into the game. And these guys haven't had a lot of hours in competitive Rocket League. For some of them, this might even be the first chance at it. Of course, a lot of people at home have the first chance. Go sign on up right now. If you are in the APAC South region, sign-ups are open until Tuesday evening. If you want a chance to make it on through to Regional 3, perhaps even be on the stream. Right now, 30 seconds left to go. Team Celestial, they've stopped the bleeding here, Bas, but now they're just in a war of attrition, and Asian Manji had the advantage from the get-go.
And that's the unfortunate thing, is that it's exactly what we spoke about going into this game. It very much does seem even. Asian Manji will get a disgusting solo play into the back of the net here. Dan kind of just putting a cherry on top of this game. But at the same time, this is kind of already inevitable. We knew this game was going in favor of Asia Manji here, and while Team Celestial did make this a little bit more of a stalemate, this is kind of where they thrive. When they do get this little bit of back and forth, and eventually they can find those cracks and exploit them, that's when they take wins. The unfortunate truth is that even when they did get that tentative back and forth, guess who it is to finally get the last goal here? It's still Asia Manji. So Team Celestial, we thought they would have a little bit of an edge here in this series just due to their defense here. Unless it changes drastically in Game 2, it's looking like we might have been incorrect on that.
And, well, I just don't want to be correct because that means Boyer's right, and that's not right. But I think it's just Game 1 curse. Team Celestial were not ready coming into this because once we hit that 2 minutes left to go, like I said, it was a war of attrition from that point onwards where Team Celestial were able to actually get into attack more often than not. And then that last goal, the fourth goal for Asian Manji, whilst it was a crazy dribble downfield by Dan, it was also in garbage time. Everyone knew the deal that, yeah, you can't really take this back right now. We're just running out the clock, doing the formality. And it does play into what you said at the start. Game 1's the Game 1s. Game 2 is when the real series begins. And Asian Manji, with that advantage, I mean, that makes them look good for the rest of the series. If they can carry this sort of morale into Game 1, that's great. But Team Celestial, I think, are going to be talking to each other right now and getting ready for this Game 2 to hit back hard.
100%. And honestly, I don't even know if they're necessarily prioritizing hitting back hard as much as just upping the defense here. Because again, for a team that's so defensively based, just seeing multiple solo plays be the way that they get scored upon is concerning, because that's not what's supposed to happen there. If you want to break down a defensive team, it's usually passing play, something spectacular off the ceiling, something that just no one can read. Solo plays are something that theoretically a team like Team Celestial should be reading. So I think Game 2 is going to be completely different. I agree with you 100% on this one, Bacon. We need to see a turnaround, though, out of Team Celestial, and if they do not provide that turnaround, they're going to be in trouble in this series.
That they are, and for me here, it's always hard to who should be the one to provide that turnaround. Yesterday, we were shouting out the name Hero so often, just to be that spark of creativity that the team needed, and I don't want to put all the weight on one player's shoulders, but every now and then you just need that one player, like Gon, that we saw earlier, right? That of Triple Jar, where it's just that one player gets that pop-off play and the rest of the team go, yeah, let's do this, let's go. And it really helps. Rez and Melody, as well as Hero, are a team that you can definitely feel go off vibes, that they're emotional players. If they think they can win it, they will go on to win it. They just need that spark of hope.
That's the big thing here, is they need to find that spark of life. And here in Game 2, they are already out the gate firing. Found a little bit of a spark of life, but is it going to be enough to give them the lead early here? That's a huge way to shake up momentum. If you can get an early goal for your team, it can really just shake off all the nerves from a horrible loss like we saw in Game number 1.
Oh, that good 50-50 coming on through. Hero to drop down to ground. Didn't have enough power to get it away and was hoping that teammate would follow up, so the idea was great. They're trying to push on into that orange half. Backing off, actually, seeing that Kevin wouldn't be able to reach it. That's clever. On the fly adjustments coming through from Celestial Melody. Wants to bounce this out to a teammate. Hero is there, reaching up to the sky, just off target. Rez with another, and that one is a definite hit. Just a minute on into this game, Celestial are back and ready to rumble.
This is huge for them. Like we said, getting that early goal is how you shake everything up. Take away all of the nerves that might have been a little bit back and forth in game one and just give yourselves that necessary confidence. It's starting to look like we might actually have a good back and forth series here. Team Celestial have definitely awoken here in game two, but that's only half the battle. Their offense has started to come alive, but it's the defense we usually look towards Team Celestial for. So can they hold tight here for another 4 minutes? Uh-oh, can they even hold tight for another minute here? Because here comes Asia Manji. They've got an offense together. 40 puts us off the backboard, and Kev is up for this one. Not quite able to make it in, but here's where we really see Team Celestial put to the test.
Great control between 40 and Dan there, just to keep it in the corner. Allows Kev to get on out, but now trying to buy time for Dan. He has picked up the 100. A miss. Rez was not ready for that. Hero to get the block, sends it out wide, looking to follow on through, but mounts fervently for open net. Rez not going to get there in time, and Dan with his dribbles, going to get the equalizer.
Ooh, this is not looking great for Team Celestial right here, just because of the fact that, again, this is a team which we highlight their defense almost every time we talk about the prowess for the squad. So to see them still making defensive errors here in game number 2 has got me a little bit nervous for them. They want to win this game. They can't just be playing offense. They can't just be playing defense either. They need to find that middle ground, which they have ridden so well so many times before, just not really being able to do so here in the series so far.
The corner, Rez looking for a bounce out, a pass potentially, but that's going to take a massive amount of adjustment from Melody, hoping to get the second touch. 40 and Dan both beating Team Celestial right into the mid. Melody keeping the ball close to their chest, not allowing it to get picked away, forcing 50-50s, and Team Celestial, they can keep this up right now. They have got a good defensive style against Asian Manji, but their retreats just need to be a little bit quicker to stop when Asian Manji come charging.
They just need to be a little bit faster right now, and it just kind of feels like that's something we haven't really seen so far today at all, in my opinion, is that pace of play we're so used to here in APAC South. It's very quick. It gives you not a lot of room to breathe here, and I think it's the pressure. I think teams are recognizing that, hey, it's win or go home here at this point, so now that the pressure is on, they're starting to get a little bit tentative, but oh my word, Team Celestial apparently in moments where they need to be aggressive, they can do so. They're getting in the face of Asia Manji here, but they just need a good shot on target. Kev will find the first good shot on target and will block it, but it's not the end of the offense quite yet. Hirio out on the wing should be able to keep this alive, but as this one's cleared out to midfield, Team Celestial might have this slow burn, but they need a good shot on target.
Yeah, if you keep knocking on the door, hopefully someone will come to answer it. Team Celestial back at it again with another attack. That one put wide by Dan. It's these really good defensive clears coming through from Asian Manji, which is doing a massive job for him. Throwing it down into the corner, throwing into open space, which halts Team Celestial, throws them back into their own half, because Asian Manji then have a little bit of breathing room. They can either charge onto it and build up a thing of their own. This is just clean.
Dan, again, with these solo plays. Yes, the shot is perfect here from Kev. Don't want to take anything away from it because, oh my word, like a missile into the back of the net. But Dan, again, dismantling the defense with a solo play. That is something we're just not used to seeing against Team Celestial here. For a team that had been able to pretty much shut down the offense of everyone they faced yesterday, to see a single player basically making them uncomfortable, just not what I was expecting.
Yeah, it's off the back of Dan. You're absolutely right. So far, we've seen Kev and, of course, 40 put in a lot of work, but Dan's just doing the bits that dismantle Celestial. 40 again in the corner. That's the sort of thing where he's not winning the game at all for Asian Manji, but he's keeping it contested. And then you've got Kev down to Dan looking for the man of the moment. Little clearance there, downfield. Melody not get anything in that one. Nice little pop-up. Kev running it downfield. This should be cleaned up by Celestial, but their biggest issue is there's only 20 seconds left on the clock.
This is going to be difficult for them. Like you said, they're not only battling Asia Manji right now, they are fighting the clock as well. And right now, they're just fighting to get out of their half. Hirio, a decent touch, but is this going to be enough to get an offense together? Rez thinks so. He's going to try and play this one solo. Pops it mid, but Melody just a bit too far pushed up. And Team Celestial, unfortunately, just a little bit disorganized here. And I don't think, no, indeed, they will not keep this one up. And Asia Manji making us look like fools so far here. Yes, we're only 2 games into this one, but that Team Celestial defense that we hyped up the whole pre-game here, it just hasn't shown itself so far here, Bacon.
And I don't know what to think of it, because Team Celestial's still there, but like we said earlier, it's just that spark is missing. That little bit of extra glue between them that makes them the brick wall in defense. They're pushing up a little bit further downfield than they were yesterday, thus they get caught up. One man in defense, look at this goal. Melody just does not have the time to get there. And you can't help but feel bad for them because they're not playing bad Rocket League at all. It's just the pacing. Asia Manji is beating them to 9 out of 10 balls.
Yeah, it just kind of feels like the pace of play is being set by one team, and while Team Celestial usually are comfortable in that scenario because, again, they love having onslaughts of shots just fired against them and being able to withstand that pressure until eventually they get a counterattack, they're just not doing that part of the strategy this time. Yes, they're allowing that pressure, but they're not withstanding it. They're having these shots go on target, they get uncomfortable, and then all of a sudden, Asia Manji just kind of take advantage of that fact of uncomfortability on defense here. So I'm wondering what the difference is going to be, what change it's going to be that gets Team Celestial back into this game because they need it. If they keep going with the same sort of strategy that they've been executing upon the last couple of games here, I don't see them making this comeback happen.
And that's going to be the question everyone is actually trying to think up an answer. What is it that can turn this around? Because people think that in their cases at home, you know, how do I do this in ranked? And for me with Team Celestial, it's got to be pinpoint demo plays to come on out to remove that man, because notice as well when it comes down to the attacks coming out from Asia Manji is either Dan on a dribble or Dan involved in a passing play. Get rid of Dan. He's too dangerous to be allowed to stay on the pitch. If you can demo away, make him frustrated, perhaps, dare I say tilted, then we could see Asia Manji start to crumble and fall off. That would then give openings to Celestial. But to do that, you've got to gain control of the boost to allow you to then, you know, do that. So it's a big if and but. To get to point B, you've got to go through A, and that's easier said than done. Team Celestial, it's only 2 games so far. They're going to be thanking their lucky stars that now it's best of 7s and not best of 5. They're not knocking on death's door just yet, Bass.
No, not quite yet here, but they're going to have to play a little bit differently here in this game. Like you said, just taking Dan off the pitch is going to be massive here. And I do want to point out a stat from last game that makes that all the more difficult of a task. 0 demos the whole game to Team Celestial. They didn't have a single one. So it's one of these things where, yeah, they kind of have to not only go back to the drawing board, they're going to have to go grab some new paintbrushes, some new paint, literally everything. They need to redo this entire offense here because it just hasn't had that necessary firepower yet.
Wait, hold up. So Regional 1, across the whole Regional 1, they got 1 demo per game. Yesterday, they rose that to 1.8, meaning, you know, they got a lot more demos because of stats. Perhaps that's it. They're just losing because they're not getting those demos, as I said. Who knows?
It's possible. It's very possible. But the one question is where do they implement those demos? Because at this point, they've tried so many times to, I would say, make this defense look uncomfortable, but for a team that we were very complimentary of their offense, maybe we should have been paying attention to their defense. Asia Manji have stepped up phenomenally on this final third.
Ooh. Jesus! How? That looked like a surefire goal. Going for the second touch made sense. It allowed time for the ball to drop a little bit. And then, of course, to pull out the defenders. But, Celestial, they're closer now. That's all we can say. And that happens.
Do you want to take this one? I don't really want to talk about this. Do we have to? Oh, that's just unfortunate. Team Celestial, that, I mean, I get why it happened. Probably shouldn't have, though.
I mean, it's just bad news bears, really, at the end of the day. 1-0 in favor for Asia Manji. Goals like that happen. Celestial, you just got to pick yourself up and dust yourself off. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Simple as. Red's quite far back, but where is down center covering the net, not able to get to the ball in time. Dan again still being a nuisance as Rez wants to dig this one out, but Kev on that midfield line, keeping the pressure up. Finally an opportunity, but Dan's not getting pressured. He can respond to that so easily. He's given too much time.
Again, it feels like, there we go. The pace of play was not in favor of Team Celestial throughout this series. Finally, they find something in their favor. Just the littlest mistouch out of the corner there, and it's a perfect shot from Furio.
That it is. A glimmer of hope. Chance now. Celestial, just get a second and then hold back. That's where their style will really come into their own, but they need to get that second goal right now as Melody puts out wide. Rez onto it, needs options. Who can Rez take this to? Heroes in the center, but still staying behind. Rez actually has the only choice of sticking to himself. Celestial were not backing each other up there.
Oh, and speaking of not backing each other up, where's the follow-up touch there from Team Celestial to try and keep this offensive pressure together? You guys finally have an offense that's starting to look threatening, but if you want to actually get that threatening offense to mean something, you need to start putting good shots on target, and I just don't think we're seeing that quite yet. Yes, Team Celestial do have an even game right now, but it feels like if Asia Manji get one more goal in their favor, they're going right back to their usual game.
I can definitely feel that. Oh, 40 Mueller, a mistake of a hit. Melody's got the chance. Kev digging it into the corner, knows he needs to get this away from the players of Team Celestial, but he got demoed on the line, digging that out. 40 Mueller has done an incredible job of defense.
How is that not in? At this point, Team Celestial, you guys can't buy a goal. You've thrown everything at your opponents, and Asia Manji, again, for a team that we weren't talking about their defense before going into the series, I'm sure be chirping about it going out of this one because, oh my word, the defense from this team has stood beyond tall. It stood gargantuan.
Bringing on Boris might have been the right call, but I've never known Boris to be that good at defense to try and impart some knowledge. 1-1 coming into the final minute right now. Oh, Rez faking out 40 has got Kev to deal with, but Kev snatches the ball away. He's got no options. Dan's too late to the party. Finally, Asia Manji might be crumbling. The cracks might be showing. Melody across the mid, and Kev just gets it away. Back towards mid. Can Rez put the shot on target? It's above board. He needed to put that down. Melody was not ready to back him up.
Not quite yet, unfortunately. And again, that's kind of feeling like the issue here is that there just isn't that organization out of Team Celestial we were seeing yesterday. Part of the reason that I felt like their defense was so prepared when we saw them yesterday was one person would go to attempt and some sort of defense there. Then all of a sudden, it wouldn't go right, so they'd have the backup player behind them who would fill in that gap greatly. Or they would have one player who does attack on defense there, get into the face of their opponents, and then they'd have a great follow-up after a 50-50. And we're just not seeing that today. Team Celestial don't seem to have that same sort of organization, and while they are playing a much better Game 3 than Games 1 and 2 here, it's all tied with just about 0 seconds left. There's one more opportunity here. No, it will be spiked down, and we go to overtime. This is a must-win overtime for Team Celestial.
Yeah, this is the momentum breaker or momentum starter. Celestial take this, then their spirits are picked back up. They know they can go on to take the series. They lose it, and they might just lose it all with confidence dipping so low. Oh, into mid. Dan versus Melody. And Melody's coming out on top. How do you like that music?
There we go. That's that offensive pressure we've been looking for. Melody just in a 1v1 versus the 1v1 king himself. Dunks it over Dan, and Team Celestial finally get a win in this series.
And finally, we don't have a 4-0 sweep. It is guaranteed right now. Let's go, boys. But more importantly, Celestial back on top. Can we take a note of those shots? 3 coming out from Asia Manji. They were forced into the defense on the opposite end. 9 coming out from Celestial. 9's just pretty much an average for the region at the point. But Asia Manji here being oppressed, they're changing up their playstyle. And I think that could also be an answer to this from Celestial, where they weren't expecting teams to also be playing defensively. They were thrown through a loop here.
Yeah, that's the big thing here, is that this is just a different game from Team Celestial. For a team that we've been talking about their defense all day, to see them with the overwhelming amount of shots in this game, as well as forcing Asia Manji into the overwhelming amount of saves, this is just different. This is a completely different ball game to what we saw in the first two series, and oh, I love it. You can see in the comms right now, Team Celestial know that as well. They look happy, they look rejuvenated, and now that they have got that confidence, I think we've got a completely different series on our hands.
That we do. You can see they're all talking to each other, having good little words of smiles as well. Absolutely lovely to see. But as we hop into game number 4, Asia Manji, can they spoil the moment? Can they get a quick goal? Or will Team Celestial carry it on through? Hero, he was feeling it.
Oh my word. If Team Celestial get another early goal and it's about as spectacular as the goal they had in the last game, not only am I going to say they take the game, but they might just take the series from there on out. Because again, momentum has been so massive that it's one thing to take a game away from a team that has had momentum in you previously. It's another thing to then not only take the momentum and ride it into the next game, but to just completely ride it to a win. If Team Celestial can take this game, not only does this series go on its head, but Asia Manji and the strategies that they came into this game with have got to go on their head as well. They're going to have to rethink everything if Team Celestial take a second in a row.
That they will. Nearly a minute gone by. Nothing to show for it just yet. Melody gets it past Dan. 40 weighing it in the wings, doesn't get the connection, and Rez pounces. A mistake, a single mistake from Asia Manji, and Team Celestial are all over them.
And this is usually what we see out of Team Celestial here. The boomer of a shot, 108 into the back of the net. That is insane. But also, that slow burn. They'll play on defense for quite some time. Wait until you have to get forced into your own half, and if you make a mistake, they're going to put a shot on target. This is what we saw out of them yesterday. This is not what we've seen out of them here today, and it's not what got them that first win. But if they can go back to that strategy, it's a very viable one. And beyond just a viable one, it's probably the one that Team Celestial want to play.
They do. 40. Dropping it down to earth. Good block coming on out from Hero's Melody. She's got to pick up the pieces, but another mistake coming on out. Kev to Dam. Blocked on out. Rez looking to hit it past the midfield line. But Asia Manji have got this locked. Another mistake from 40.
Word. You almost said that, and then they gave up that goal. That would have been one of the worst caster curses I had ever seen, and that's coming from a person that caster curses almost every single game that he is on commentary. So let's see if maybe we can avoid a couple of those. I would say for Team Celestial, they'd love if they can find a curse in their favor here. A 2-0 would be big for this team to just not only give them that confidence necessary, but to really show that, hey, the momentum from those first games is gone. We are back, and we are back with vengeance.
They are. 2 minutes gone by already. Melody focusing on the boost, allows Hero to step in. The bounce out, looking for Reds. Does get a touch, but down with the block. 40 can't catch up quick enough, and Melody gets a demo as well to boot. So Asia Manji have to pull back into defense. They don't have the manpower to be able to handle pushing up into attack. Hero just trying to get a little bit cheeky. Perhaps a little block goal, but not to be found. Keeps the pressure up nonetheless for Reds to step on in. Kev, now that is a great little block, because that could have been super dangerous if the ball was allowed to linger into mid.
Yeah, if that one had stayed around for just a little bit too long, you know Team Celestial are just going to wait for that little bit of a mistake and punish when the opportunity arrives, and they don't get that opportunity to do so here. And instead, now it's a shot going the other way. Melody will make a decent touch, but Asia Manji starting to get a little bit of an offense together here, and oh, it's very short-lived. Rez will send this the other way, and here's the issue. This is the difference right now. Asia Manji, a team that before probably would have locked Team Celestial into their half and slow-burned until they found a goal. Instead, now they're kind of worried. They know Team Celestial have been counterattacking on them, so they don't want to overexpose themselves, but oh no, Team Celestial, you guys can't be making mistakes like that. That's a heck of a way to change the confidence of a team in Asia Manji, and all of a sudden they're right back into this.
So Celestial's strength comes down to the way they attack their opponents. Notice, like, you could draw a line down the center of a pitch, and at the start and end of that line, and in the very middle, would be a Celestial player. You always have one going in for deep challenges, trying to force those 50-50s, a man on mid ready to jump on in for those spills, and then a man very far back who's ready to just be there in defense if anything happens. That does not give them width to the game and means that you can get little mistakes like that come out from Asia Manji when surprises in defense happen. Celestial, whilst they got a good attack from it, their defense now is becoming a little bit sus, and if it breaks, it absolutely is destroyed.
That's the unfortunate thing here is it kind of feels like that for both sides. It's that little bit of if the defense, oh no, breaks down, that'll be the end of it. And Asia Manji, to say that was a defensive breakdown might be putting that lightly. That was a defensive demolishing. You guys just completely fell, and with a minute left, it's looking like Team Celestial might have completely flipped the script on this series.
And I think that was a sudden change. Rez just threw the ball to try and help Hero out, buy him time to get back into rotation, and then saw no one else was around on it to be able to get a hit. It was like, oh, I can just follow on this? Sure, what? The net is open, why not just take a goal? And he's coming away absolutely smiling and grinning. Celestial back up by a goal. But 40 seconds left into this one. Kev can't get the touch. Resbin out wide. The boost steal from Kev, 40. He's there. He's thinking, where is Dan right now? But does not have the time to get to the ball and get it out. Kev, once again, stuck in that corner. Celestial, they are bunkering down again.
They're doing a great job at showing that defensive prowess we spoke about going into the series, but unfortunately with 15 seconds left, they really have to display it here. Asia Manji want that equalizer, want a chance to force this into overtime and not let the momentum get too far away from them. But as Melody takes this up the wall and no one will challenge, I think it is all but set in stone. Team Celestial, 2 games in a row, will make the comeback to even out the series, and I won't say it. You can say it this time. Don't worry, I'm not bringing up the cliche.
I'm not saying anything. Don't you worry. Cast the bingo. That one is staying blank and not getting, smudged off. 2-1 in game number 4 as we progress to game number 5, 2 apiece. Celestial on the comeback, but Asia Manji have not fallen off at all. It is just Celestial figuring out and actually learning how to play against this team. It now comes down to Asia Manji to just throw a spanner in the works, come up with some creative little flair to their game, which finds a way around their opposition, because it is just their attack which isn't connecting like they want it.
It just isn't necessarily having the same sort of connection. Like you said, it really is the best word we can use here at this point, because it just feels a little bit off. And that's the issue right now, is that it felt off for Team Celestial the first couple of games, and then all of a sudden they found themselves and they got back into their form. Asia Manji started off in their form, and then as the series has progressed, they've slowly started to falter and just get away from that form. So I think they need to find that.
I'm sorry, that is the biggest water bottle I've ever seen. What on earth?
I was wondering if you would bring that up. I saw it in the corner of my eye, and I was like, there's no way. But
really?
Yeah, no, I mean, hey, listen, maybe actually, I take it back. That's why they've got the lead now. It's the water bottle supremacy we're seeing out of Team Celestial.
Yeah, make sure Twitch chat stay hydrated as well. That is the key to victory. Oh. Damn, son!
Excuse me? Okay, yeah, no, this is why you have a big water bottle. It allows you to do stuff like that. What?
Straight up water bottle energy, man. That's what it is right there. 1-0 in favor of the Team Celestial straight out of the gate. It's been a while since they got an opener like that. 15 seconds and we are still stunned.
I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to walk away from that goal and understand exactly what happened. Hirio with the slightest angle I've ever seen, and I mean, this just kind of further emphasizes our point. Team Celestial took a couple of games to wake up, but oh my word. Not only have they woken up, they've woken up screaming,
Dude.
And the whole neighborhood can hear it because goals like this are going in.
I mean, that setup from Melody is one thing, and Hero to be ready on that. They are astounding. Have Celestial literally transcended to a next level due to hydration? Or is this Asia Manji not being ready for Game 5? They need to stop this striking right now. Asia Manji need one of their own. You can see Dan takes the air, but he's got no boost. He does not have anything left in the tank to be able to create a situation. And the chance there. Oh, Kevin, jump in at that. If he had just got slight touch, it would have resulted in a beautiful goal. But Unfortunately, it was a couple of centimeters away.
I have a feeling that we're going to still see a lot of those really close calls throughout the rest of this series here. It does kind of feel like Asian Manji are starting to get a little bit of offense together here. It's been a while since we've seen it, but unfortunately for them, getting some offense together is one thing. Being able to actually, oh boy, execute upon that offense is another. And also being able to execute upon their defense is going to be really important here. My oh my, didn't want to get too overly energetic with that play because I was hoping that eventually it would end, and it does indeed. Asia Manji, just by the skin of their teeth, able to walk away with that one. And oh boy, yeah, they might be getting a little bit better on offense, but the defense still rather shaky for Asia Manji.
I mean, how do you defend against attacks like that coming out from Celestial? That's all I'm going to allow. It's not that the defense necessarily broke down. It's just that Celestial's attack went to whole new, unseen, unheard of levels. As that's thrown into the middle by Kev. Good defense coming out from Melody. Pick up by Hero. That's a massive launch. Can anyone get to it? 40 just, and it's a perfect pass to Kev. This is a massive step up from Asia Manji now as they make their way downfield. Kev was going for a block. I absolutely adore that.
This is just a better overall play from Asia Manji here. It feels like a big thing that we're also seeing. This is the pace of play we are used to here. Team Celestial and Asia Manji usually play with this quick pace of play, just kind of back and forth with shots firing at all times and teams being forced to make these on-the-line saves on repeat here. This is where we see teams really thrive in this region, when they are given the ability to really just go like speeding bullets across the pitch. And for Asia Manji, they definitely look more comfortable in this type of pace of play. That being said, comfortable is one thing, dominant is another, and with 2 minutes remaining, they need to be dominant. They lose this one, that's 3 in a row to Team Celestial, and at that point, they might as well just take the series.
And right on cue, Hero. That's a hat trick. Just let that sit on in.
My word. I could sit here and watch these shots from Team Celestial all day. This is what we've been looking for. Again, after the first 2 games, if you had only seen those and, turned off the entire broadcast, you would have gone, all right, well, that was pretty cool from Asia Manji. I can't wait to see them play tomorrow. You see the back half of this one and you go, how did Asia Manji get those 2 games? So the turnaround from Celestial, to say it is impressive, that's the biggest understatement all day.
The thing is, if Team Celestial can have a turnaround like that, Asia Manji can as well. They've just got to want it, work for it, and I guess craft it. But that's Hero!
Okay, is this allowed? Do we allow these types of shots? What? The angles at this point, man. This is Dan versus Hero. Dan might have had the first half of this series, but it's the Hero show for the back half.
That it is right now. 120 left on clock, and I'm going to bring out my favorite sort of phrasing points like this. We're in training time. Asia Manji, you have to have the montage, the 18 montage from your favorite film, and find a way to get the next 2 games because you're slipping right now. It's unfortunately a little bit icy under your toes and you just can't get any grip on this game. Team Celestial fully in control, and you get opportunities like this. You can see Asia Manji are close, but it's that final touch, not being able to work it to the net, whether it's just shot accuracy or a defender in the way. Team Celestial have got this game locked down enough, but they are not perfect. And I have to phrase that. No team is perfect because we've not had a team go, I mean, the BDS run still had losses, and this team can still score. They've just got to craft it, and this is a beautiful 2-man passing play.
That's exactly what we're looking for out of Asia Manji. It's just something with a little bit more threat at the end of the day here. With 25 seconds left, yes, technically they can make the comeback, but I think at this point it'd be wiser for them to look towards this next game, to recognize why they got that goal, what the difference was with them getting that goal and trying to execute that in game number 5, or excuse me, game number 6. Because that's the thing, they need to take the little wins where they can get them right now, Bacon. If they tilt themselves out of the series, they're doing themselves a disservice. This is still very possible for the comeback, and they need to know that.
So, massive Nice little redirect, actually, is the save. The biggest difference for Team Celestial here in game number 5, blimey, it's just running away with it, is that they were no longer scared to enjoy attacking. They had got in the head throughout the entirety of this weekend, and it's what actually gave them so much strength, is that they realized defending is a great strat in this region where it's all offense. So you can get really good counterattacks. But these guys are brilliant strikers. Hero, indeed, you feed him the ball and he knows what to do with it. Melody, look at this right now. That is insane control coming out from him. And Hero's just got to approach it, give him a high five, put the ball in the back of the net, job done.
I'm just impressed at this point. The turnaround from Team Celestial is insane. Yes, I would agree with you in saying that a lot of it is due to the fact that they are finally finding that confidence in offense and really also being able to buckle down on defense. But let's also not forget their biggest key to victory here, hydration. Team Celestial, apparently the water bottle boys have been able to promote themselves enough that they're going to possibly win this one out in 6. This is impressive. Jokes aside at this point, I don't know what exactly the difference was for Team Celestial at this point, but I have to imagine at this point they're feeling as confident as ever. But that being said, I actually predicted this one. I said this in the green room chat before going into this. Asia Manji taking the timeout we thought they would. Bardus behind the scenes, there is no way that they're going to let them go into this game 6 without a little bit of a pep talk. I'm hoping he can calm the nerves for this team, because if we can see Asia Manji return to the form we saw in the first couple of games, we absolutely can get a game 7.
You know what? Shout out to Twitch chat right now. CRT, I see you there. If you stay hydrated, well, then you're not going to dry up. You're not going to have problems with communication. If you don't have problems with communication, you get better team plays. Better team plays means better goal opportunities. Better goal opportunities mean you get more goals. More goals means a good series win. Hydration is the meta. That's the new meta coming on through. Just get the biggest 3-4 liter water bottles you can, and there you go. You will win your games. The pros don't want you to hear this, but that is true. Every single pro's got 5-liter water bottles ready to go. That's it, isn't it?
I was about to ask you how large the water bottle you had in front of you at this moment would be, and then I realized the one I have, I actually don't know how large it is, so we'll ask another day whenever I have the actual measurements. But we've got something more important on our hands here. Game number 6, it is win or go home for Asia Manji here. They took a tactical timeout to try and reconfigure this one, try and recollect themselves, and out the gates they are already firing. Big turnaround here for Asia Manji, but it is a necessary one if they want to survive.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know as a caster, I probably go through a half-liter water series, you know? That's just like drink quite a bit of water. But 30 seconds already gone by. Team Celestial actually pushing once again in their opponent's half. They do not want to give an inch to Asia Manji. They know if they can put a dominating first portion, that helps them throughout the rest of the game, because they are an emotional squad. So here they're trying to cement themselves, but Asia Manji have done a good job to keep them at bay.
Oh my word, no way!
That is
Melody,
dirty.
Come on! Dude, what is with the mechanics with this kid here? Only he would think to try that. There should... What do you even say? What am I supposed to say about that?
Just... yeah, the showers, we're done. Melody is cracked. Simple as. Reds beaten by O'Kevin. Oh, but Hero's back. Asia Manji, that was a great kickoff for them, but Kev's easily back, easily able to defend. Team Celestial are just vibing right now.
Oh, they just look so... again, it really should have been obvious to us that this is how the team was going to play when we started seeing the smiles after Game 4. The team just found that confidence, they found that momentum, and they found that happiness. I really do think that that can propel a team. If you're enjoying playing Rocket League, you really are going to play better because you have confidence in yourself, you are just having fun with what you're doing. But I can guarantee you one thing. Dan has been having fun all day. There's a highlight player on Team Celestial. It's probably either Hirio or Melody. In terms of Asia Manji, it's all Dan.
So we just had a little timeout. Haven't had the reason why in chat just yet, but it's called. Seems to be a technical issue, but one apiece. And for me anyway, within APAC South, this is the first time we've had thing like this where now the players are sitting and stewing. You know, for Team Celestial, this actually might be a bad thing because they've just been scored upon and they were up there on Cloud 9. Now Dangerous Standards hit it again and just, wait, okay, right, so we're not safe right now. We need to go out there, and they might overthink things a little bit.
I think that this is going to be one of these things where they really do need to play a very careful game, to put it simply, because after having a timeout, after taking a little bit of a second to recollect yourselves, usually teams are going to play a bit more carefully because they're going to recognize where the gaps have been. Their coach is going to come up to them and go, hey, guys, they've been doing X, Y, and Z wrong, and since they've been doing X, Y, and Z wrong, you can do A, B, and C to exploit that. So it's one of these things where I kind of feel like this little bit of a pause right now isn't necessarily going to completely shift momentum, but it's going to let Asia Manji sort of just kind of find that confidence and take a deep breath here. Yes, they might have been frazzled from the fact that, you know, they got scored upon, but they get that equalizer, they get a second to sort of collect themselves, and Boris can get back into their heads and go, guys, you've still got this. Force a Game 7, take that Game 7, and move to that top 4.
Just there, looking at Twitch chat, still a lot of believers behind Team Celestial will take it. Asia Manji on the comeback, and it's a scary old prospect here because this, I think right now, a moment like this is the first time these players will ever have to experience it because, you know, we're so used to, in the grassroots scenes, not having access to admin rights and such, where you just got to play it on through those pains. Now, no, there is a cool-off period which you got to deal with, and these players, it's a whole new region where they're still learning. And I mean, straight up looking at the cams on Celestial, you know, these are young lads that are coming on through. And on the opposite end, when we've got Asia Manji, we've got more experienced players within the team. Celestial before, well, this weekend, before RLCS Regional 1, did not have Wikipedia pages. Asia Manji, all 3 of them did. So that's just a little bit of experience to, a little bit of a highlight to how long these guys have been playing.
They've been playing a very long time. They're one of those teams that I would say are kind of used to this pressure. Again, it's different when you have $15,000 on the line. That's a lot more money than I would think that the region is kind of used to here, but they're at least used to playing for some sort of money and playing for something with a tournament with this many teams and this, you know, much prestigious nature around it here. So I think Asia Manji are going to be somewhat prepared for this, but, you know, how prepared can they really be here? It's quarterfinals. They've got literally one single game they can, well, actually, they can't even give it up. They've got one game left in them to try and pull this one back. If they do not, that's the end of their road. So this is going to be an interesting one. Before we do get into the rest of it, I do want to shout out, Psyonix, once again, thank you for just providing this in the first place. Like you said, this is all new for these guys. The fact that they have these type of prize pools to compete for, to have this stage to compete on, this channel to show all of you guys at home what this team and what these regions are capable of, just shout out to them. It's such an awesome thing to see.
Yeah, and to actually put on both APAC North and South, it was always going to be a difficult hurdle, wasn't it? Because I mean, if you ever know anything about internet cabling, APAC is just, it's spaghetti junction, basically. And to split the region up, and then, of course, we're having that tiebreaker coming up when we decide who goes off to the major. Adds so many different opportunities, but at the same time, in a much more fair environment, we should be able to see the best of the best from both regions. And sort of, there's that excitement factor of locking them away, and then after Regional 3, bring them back together to see the best of the best. It's a fun time to be looking not only at RLCS, but Asia Pacific as a whole, as well as the new introduction of like MENA as well. It's such a wicked cool time to be a Rocket League fan.
This is the best time to be a Rocket League fan, I would say almost ever, because you turn on Twitch pretty much any time of the day, there is something going on for Rocket League, at least as long as it's Friday to Sunday at some point there. Unfortunately, during the week, you might have to go and tune into a couple other things. Hey, shout out to CRL, another thing that goes on for a Psyonix-sponsored event, which I've got some friends who cast that, and they are fantastic. But it really is the best time to be a Rocket League fan. It feels like Psyonix have recognized that there is a global market here. There are so many fans in so many regions who want to see them get the shot, to have those local players have a chance to debut themselves on stages like this, and so far, it's delivered. This is everything we could have hoped for here, Bacon, because the hits keep on coming. Every single game that we've had so far has been spectacular.
And can you remember, like, back during the summer where it felt like there was nothing going on, but we still had the Intel World Open, WePlay going on, as well as DreamHack Cups, and it was like a crazy off period for the main Rocket League, but it was still a shorter period of time than, well, the previous season before RLCS X, and previous seasons before that. We've got so much Rocket League going on, and you guys at home continuously tuned in because you love Rocket League at the same time. It's just wicked cool that we've also got a sheer number of teams that can play to such a high level to put on such a great performance for us. And then, of course, you know, we just come along and be like, yeah, let's talk about this because it's awesome to see and just so exciting. Love Rocket League, don't we?
I love it. Again, this is a dream come true for me, man. To be on an RLCS stream, talking to all of you guys at home and really being able to just sort of talk to you about what is my passion, Rocket League esports. It just... Never in a million years did I think I would be here, but I am so grateful to be here, and I am so excited to be able to cast for you guys on what is at this point going to be a daily basis during the weekends here. I've been on the first day for APAC and the second day for APAC, and I'm finishing off tomorrow for OCE. I mean, Bacon, this is awesome. I think we can say it a million times over, and it still won't be enough to emphasize how truly insane and cool it is for us to be here and for Psyonix to show support to regions like this.
Yeah, and for players that probably would have never had the chance otherwise, because let's take a look at Team Celestial. Like we were saying, such young players there, but this is a team that's come on through, and the growth from week 1 into week 2 into regional 2, sorry, is insane. How much more do they grow as the weeks, months go on, even years? Because like we were saying, at the moment, this is a scene that's just growing. When we were talking to Jake yesterday, making similarities to when OC first joined, but was it season 7 where OC got top 4 at Worlds? How long is it going to take for Asia, Pacific, whether it's North or South, to get to that level as well? Because we've got sheer numbers of Rocket League. What was it? We spent more time in one split of RLCS X than an entire year for Rocket League previously, and that's only being up with the sheer number of like Swiss brackets. You know, we've got 5 going on yesterday. We got, sure, just a single elim for the second, but later on throughout the different splits, we change it up, giving so much more different format experience to these players, as well as the closed and open qualifiers on top. There's just so much Rocket League going on each and every week. Like right now, whilst we've got Asia, OCE, MENA, and of course North America going on, there's also the EU Open qualifiers going on and the closed qualifiers at the same time. It's absolutely nuts that in the background there's hidden away Rocket League where you've got to go to the team streams, you know, to be able to see it, because that's the open qualifiers. We can't literally put on everything because there's too much Rocket League going on, it seems.
Apparently so. And, well, if you guys do want a little bit more Rocket League, we do have to shout out one more time. Open qualifiers are still, well, open here for the 3rd Regional for APAC South. If you guys do want to compete, as many of you in Twitch chat have apparently said, you would be enough to be able to take down some of these squads. So now's your chance to prove it. Sign up for those open qualifiers for Regional number 3 and prove that you guys can be up there with the best of them. But for right now, let's focus on what's at hand. 3 minutes on the clock. We are all squared away here at 1-1 in game number 6. Back with the action and backs against the wall. Asia manji need to win this one if they want to continue the series.
Yeah, a long call-off period. You can see the attack coming on through. Dan with the screen, making it easier for Kev to come on through, and he does indeed. Melody, the only one back in defense. Dan trying to really minimize what Melody can do, which in the end is nothing.
Unfortunately so, and Asia manji apparently during that little bit of a cooldown here, they didn't cool down. They warmed up. They're back on top, and uh-oh, Team Celestial, that is not looking all that organized there. A little bit of chaos reigning supreme here, and that's not great for Team Celestial, a team who we had said, you know, when they look calm and collected, they do their best. To see them panicking out the gates here after that break doesn't really bode well for their chances of winning this one.
Good quick adjustments coming out from Hero, but Melody wasn't ready to jump up and pounce on that opportunity. It had been a surefire goal, but they're playing it safe. Coming in for demos on net like that there, that is bold once again. Hero is truly fired on up, but are Rez and Melody as well. Hero with the shot, and that's enough to tie it up once again.
Oh my word. I mean, honestly, at this point, we should be expecting this. If Hirio gets the time and space to put on a shot, it's going to be a banger. And the unfortunate reality is, with 2 minutes remaining here, there will be more attempts at shots and at goals. For Asia Manji here, it does seem like they have found that confidence. They do look a lot more promising than before they took that timeout. But is it enough? Team Celestial still seem like they might have the edge.
Melody having to be careful not to get in Hero's way. Rez takes to the sky, goes deep with it. Kev across net, but he can safely find Dan. Hero in the back lines is a one-on-one, but Melody will be there in time as a second defender. But slips on up, just gets a touch as it's delivered to him. 40 going to be kicking and screaming after that one as he thought he got a goal there. 1 minute 30 remains in front of the net, disallowed by 40.
Oh my, this one is getting close on both ends here. I'm wondering what the next thing we're going to see hit the back of the net might be. At this point, I don't know if it's going to be these defensive errors. It really kind of feels like both teams are okay if the defense is going to play solid. They're just going to put a shot on that's too hard to save, and maybe Team Celestial can get that done here. With a minute remaining, they're going to start to run out of options. Melody, I thought, might try to turn around and put a shot on target, but with 0 boost in the tank, unfortunately not quite able to make that turnaround happen here. But Team Celestial looking like they're back on the prowl here. Like we said before, when they have confidence in their offense, it blossoms.
And Melody had to be so careful there purely because that breaks the rotation. Melody was on the back charge, and the other two, Hero and Rez, were just like, okay, we've got to commit to an attack right now, because if we allow this to fall into the back lines, Melody's not going to have any boost, and we could have a massive uh-oh moment. Hero not going to be able to block out Dan, so it's back to Melody in the back lines and just try and keep this safe, but with 0 boost, it's getting a little bit iffy right there for Team Celestial. They need a big breakaway.
Yeah, they needed a big breakaway, and finally they will find themselves some pressure on the other end. A deflection from 40 is going to keep that one out, but what about the follow-up? Melody tried to play that one patiently, not quite able to, and popped up. There is a chance for Asia Manji. Can they send this one into the back of the net, or will we go to overtime? Actually, it might be Hirio who prevents it. Oh my word, it's Asia Manji and Dan who prevent the unbelievable shot here. We do go to overtime game 6, and oh my, this series really is delivering on every single account.
1 goal. That's going to be the difference between game 7 and going on through to tomorrow. Team Celestial, they've got to take this now. I don't know. Asian Manji, that would be a massive boost in morale for them if they can take it. But who knows as Melody gets the bounce out across the center. No one there from Celestial will pick it up. So Kev gets it away after the 50-50 with Rez. It's got to be said as Melody has no options to pass to. That was just thrown into the hands of Asian Manji. You can't be doing that here.
Just can't. Unfortunately, right now, you need to be very careful with every single possession that you have, because you waste a possession, that really does mean the difference between moving on to the next day and possibly having the series end. So let's see, can we have some precise play from these two teams? Right now, Team Celestial, who are trying to pull off some precise plays here on offense. They will have, oh no, an attempt at a shot, but Rez not quite able to find that follow-up, and Bacon, they're going to want that attempt back.
Yeah, but notice the boost levels of Asian Manji. They couldn't get a quick counter coming on out, so it gave time for Celestial to get back in defense. 40 blocked out by Melody, who's going to be going up to meet this. No one from Celestial. They're happy to fall back into their own half, wait for another opportunity, but...
Woo! Whoa!
Okay.
Oh. Well,
we go to game 7, though. That's awesome.
I like the excitement of that one. It's unfortunate that the chaos is what gets us to game 7, but hey, considering the back and forth gameplay we have had for the last couple of games, it's only proper that that's how this one ends. And we go to game number 7. Asia Manji take their first win after dropping 3 games in a row. That feels like that was probably the hardest win Asia Manji are going to take all day here. Even if they win game 7, it still kind of feels like game 6 might have been the more difficult task.
I would probably agree, and it came from, I'm going to call them out now, Celestial put themselves in that bad situation. They got overconfident in their defensive capabilities, where they're like, we need to bolster ourselves on one clean attack. and they gave up all pressure. They allowed Asian Manji to have control of the ball, and Asian Manji just put enough pressure onto Celestial, put enough force, made them awkward, and then were able to find that gap after, what was it, 3 shots there in rapid succession.
Yeah, it was a lot of pressure. Let's look back. There's the first, there's the second, so I guess it's technically
but the
2
throw
or 3
across net
either way.
as well was dangerous, so it was 2, yes, but
at the end of the day, it's a lot of shots, and it's a lot of pressure, and the reality of this is that even for a team like Team Celestial, who are very capable on defense, you put enough pressure against them, they're gonna crack.
That they are, but I mean, does that look like a team that's cracking right now? They look pretty happy. I mean, changing up the AC, why not get comfy? Any water chugging going on?
Wait, all right. Well, unfortunate that we're probably not going to be able to see that camera again, but I just need to ask afterwards. If we have an interview with Team Celestial, whoever it is on the right that has their cord wrapped around their chin underneath, like, their mic, that's a new strategy I haven't seen before, so I'll have to have some questions about that if we get them as the winners, because it's up to Team Celestial now. They got to game point after 3 games in a row after dropping 2 to Asia Manji, but a game 6, Asia Manji fought back, and we have game 7. Winner of this one moves on to top 4, and Asia Manji apparently want to be that team.
Dan has been the GOAT all day. This play where he hits into all that and then covers it so no one from Celestial can approach just lines that up perfectly for Kevin. That was always going to be a goal as long as he had the second man there. For Dan to guarantee a surefire goal for a teammate is insane.
This is kind of what we've expected out of this player at this point. It's kind of scary to say that that's like the standard for Dan here, but it's basically Dan with the solo plays versus Team Celestial having whoever wants to have the solo play. And
what a shot.
Rez, no, that's just filth. Perfect placement, and Team Celestial will tie it up.
That's it. Rez had only 2 options there. Bottom left, bottom right. Perhaps you might even throw in top right and top left, top right. Not really. And he has to get that so clinically clean to those positions. Bottom right's the easier one out of the lot, as he would have to really whip it around. And I've been a little bit too late, actually, to get bottom left. But when you've got the shot, you've got 1 shot to go out, you've got to take the opportunity, and that opportunity was perfect for Dan. The demo came on through. Was that 40? No, he came through with... No, Dan himself. Just introduced himself.
But that, you notice who had the touch initially? It wasn't Asia Manji. That's not really great for Team Celestial. For a team who we have been so complimentary of their defense all day, this kind of feels like maybe the pressure is just on at this point. And I don't think that it necessarily means they're going to break down for the next 4 minutes of play, but Team Celestial, you've got to be careful. For a team that really relies on their defense to set up their offense, any sort of weakness on the back end is going to be exploited tenfold.
So on dribble Dan, we've seen him pull off some really miraculous stuff. Team Celestial, their defense is starting to crack. They're getting a little bit nervy. They're down. It's not a comfortable position for them right now, but with 3 minutes and 15 seconds left on the clock, there's still tons of time left in this one. Hero blocked out by 40. And Asia Manji have got so much control of this game. It's scary.
It just looks like they're in a completely different form here. It feels like they have found that confidence that was shown in the first couple games, but started to lack once we saw that Celestial comeback here. And I have to give all credit where it is due here. Boris, perfect timing on that timeout. That's exactly when you want to use it. Your backs are against the wall. You are 1 game away from elimination. You had found momentum previously, but now it's time to collect your team. Get them back into this game and find them with a little bit more of a level head. And that's what he did. He put Asia Manji back on top, made them believe that they could win, because that's how they're playing right now. They're really diving into these balls with confidence, and it's driving them all the way to what could be a victory. Halfway through this game, and Rez with their second own goal.
Rez was flying on through, and this touch from Dan just put it into regular space. Hero accidentally got a touch there, put more power, and Rez was just following his path to the center of net. You'll notice Melody was going for the back left boost, so Rez was trying to just gun it down the center, be an option. If not, turn right to pick up the upper 100, and was just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
So unfortunate for Team Celestial here, and well, the last 2 goals for them have really been just kind of unfortunate. There's not really another word to describe it at this point, and I mean, Asia Manji have got to feel ecstatic right now. They are on top with just 2 minutes remaining, but are they going to hold on to that on top position? No, not quite able to. Rez will get in a shot. They do hold on here, but we're starting to see Celestial get some pressure together, and you know what happens once they get this pressure. Eventually, they find a shot that should go into the back of the net, but Dan, I don't care if it's offense or defense. I want Dan on my team every day of the week.
Oh, I don't think that's going to be an argument right now. Team Celestial, your heart breaks for them, but they've still got the time to turn it around. The lads have now shown wanting of this game. They've got the capabilities, but can they pull on through? Asia Magi move into defense mode. It's Melody trying to be a nuisance against Dan. Hero with the pop-up, but no res to be found. He's waiting in defense. There is still tons of time on the clock, but they have to make one good push off towards the side as Dan gets the clearance. Melody gonna step on in, push towards center. Nice turn in from Reds, but no other options past that.
And they keep this offense together though and keep something threatening here with 50 seconds left. They don't have many options. They need a goal, and they need it basically now. It's very much possible, but Asia Manji so far have looked just completely different from their previous games. 40 almost able to put in a shot like that, and I'll say this much. If Asia Manji get one more goal, that's the end of the series.
Could just be 30 seconds. Shows our screens and the players as well. That's not going to lighten the load. Melody popping it into the box, and that is hope. That is the light at the end of the tunnel for Team Celestial, a way back into this Game 7.
Overtime, overtime, overtime. Come on,
Let's
chat, say it with me. We got 23 seconds, and we've got faith in Team Celestial. They need one more goal. If they can get it, they force an overtime here in Game 7, and at this point, that feels only proper. A golden goal to end this one would be incredible, but first we've got to get there, and first Team Celestial need one more. Melody will go up with this one. Not a lot of boost in the tank, though, so it's going to need to be someone else. Hiria will capture this one on the side, but they can't get it center. They need to set up a shot, and they haven't found one. Off the backboard, Melody will send it to Rez. Shot on target, but Dan will save it, and that will end this game. Asia Manji, in the narrowest of fashions, will make the comeback and will move on.